Honestly, I don't think most of the IB students would take this class if they didn't have to. I think there's a lot of negative sentiment towards TOK, which I don't necessarily agree with, because IB students feel like it's a waste of time and detracts from their normal classes.
I think they would, because it's it's a fun class, and just the general basis of it is also an exciting class that is very different from the traditional way of learning that we have at BCC.
I would say yes, because at the beginning of the year, when it was based off of discussions about areas of knowing, it was very interesting to be a part of the conversations, and you kind of learned other people's perspectives on things.
I think there's definitely a community in the TOK class. Whether or not it's a community of learners is the question.
I think that TOK has generated a community inside the class. If we're a community of learners, I think that's left up to the individual person, but everyone has definitely formed a tight-knit community of IB students.
I would say yes, it's created kind of the IB kids. We kind of grouped together with our other IB struggles, but especially with extended essay, which has brought everyone much closer, because there have been everyone's gone through hardships throughout the IB program, and TOK is kind of a place where we can all come together and talk about what's going on.
I think that a lot of people are a community of haters. They dislike TOK because, I don't know, it doesn't fit in with the classic style of learning, and they would rather be studying for tests.
The class does let us take in different perspectives, as on different occasions we had to watch a lot of debates and look at different sides of arguments about ethics or art or math or the very nature of learning and knowledge. And even the most, when you take a perspective, it might seem as something as popular as socioeconomic class or political party, but in TOK we go beyond that and we look at maybe more mundane topics such as art, and a debate over should this person, what is a hard science.
I think that there are a lot of disagreements that we have in TOK, especially from an ethical standpoint. I mean, every other week when we were going through our ethics unit, there would be, or every other day, there would be differences in opinion on ethical issues like the trolley car dilemmas, and I think that TOK is an environment that supports those different opinions.
Yes, I would say the class does. Everyone obviously has different ideas and different things they want to, different perspectives on things, and we kind of have to be accepting of the things people say, so we kind of learn about other people's thoughts, and we have to take it into consideration in order to have discussions.
I think it's greatly influenced my way of thinking about the world and how I perceive facts. I don't know if it necessarily has changed everyone's perspective on the world, but I think it's greatly influenced the way that I think about what I perceive.
In a way, I know it's changed me in that I think differently about certain things now, and I have developed certain interests within the conversations we've had in class. I see things differently in the fact that through the conversations I've had with my other peers, I now share the same views as they do.
If you take TOK in addition to the full IB schedule, which is how you take TOK, then I think that just being surrounded by that environment of almost a different type of learning can harbor that. But if you were to just take TOK, it would not be, you wouldn't have the bolstered effects of this, learning style through having all of your other classes be taught that way.
TOK, though it encourages children to think about the world in different ways, oftentimes misses the mark, especially when kids will just study for, I don't know, they'll already have an opinion in mind for the subject at hand, and then kind of just ignore everything else that we've learned in the class about it.
in the extended essay, we got to conduct our own investigations into topics that we found interesting, and the way we do so affects, we use principles that we learned from TOK, analyzing both sides of a problem. And in my extended essay, I come up with a conclusion that, I thought about, but has also been, affected. I've also, implemented the skills I've learned in TOK to be able to write that paper, along with all my other IB classes. So, in summation, kind of.
The class of TOK influenced me substantially more than, say, the extended essay did. Just because we're not really learning new ways of thinking, we're kind of just writing a research paper.
Well, I'm learning more and more about the IB program because this is actually my first IB World School. So this is just I'm finishing up my second year at BCC High School. So I've just been trying to learn IB and what it's all about. And TOK, I've gotten a chance to observe a little bit in classes, but I think the most information really came from working with a student on her extended essay and understanding what that research project is like. And basically what I'm learning from that is exactly the process that I used when I wrote my dissertation. So when I wrote, the book that I wrote for earning my doctorate, I went through the exact same process of really looking at where there's a gap in the literature, where you can make a contribution, looking at the research around it, posing a research question, and collecting information to make an argument. And for me, if you learn that process in high school, I just think you're not only just more marketable for college, I just think that you're going to have it'll be an easier time in college because that is the process of research that we engage in for whether it's undergraduate, master's thesis, or for your dissertation and working on your doctorate.
I do think that TOK does have an impact on students. I know that many students have come to my class after attending TOK, and they're just still kind of talking about the topics they were focusing on in discussion from TOK class. I think that TOK benefits students because it gives them an opportunity to discuss issues that they might not have had a different perspective on prior to that, and they're able to enter into those conversations and have them without necessarily having closure to the discussion. I know that I've had multiple students tell me that TOK changed their mind about something. I think that is the mark of learning, really.
Well, I think a course like Theory of Knowledge is really something that's beneficial for all of our students. And I think one of the most important things for us is to make sure that students are aware of what the course is like and the kind of preparation that I believe the series of courses really gives students in terms of their preparation for college. So the types of students who take it are students who enjoy thinking and enjoy not just having and forming an opinion, but being able to think and talk about how do we know, and to really unpack that. And I think that that's just a great process for a lot of our students, and I'd wish that even more students could understand what the course is about and take advantage of the course.
I think the extended essay is a unique experience that is probably better approximation of what you're going to be doing in college than the AP exam. I mean, I think the AP exam is incredibly valuable. It's I don't think there's any substitute for the slog and the research that goes into a 16-page paper. It's the kind of stuff you're going to be doing probably more so in junior and senior year of college than freshman. That being said, I think the AP classes, like AP Lang, I think is an incredible course. The emphasis on nonfiction is great. The subject matter of AP is great. I just think the process that goes into writing a 16-page paper is it's rather unique.
I definitely think students would take TOK even if it weren't required. I know that students really enjoy the Socratic seminars, and they really take a lot out of the extended essay. I think that it also prepares you very well for future assignments you might have in college, no matter where you end up attending. So I do think that students ultimately would see the benefit of that and end up taking TOK.